What's up YouTube? It's Austin. This is my 2 years on testosterone video. Can you believe it? Holy cow. So yeah, it's November 7th today. I'm 2 years on T and I am 1 year and 1 month post-op for top surgery. So that's super exciting and I wanted to just tell you all how it's been going. I haven't done a transition update video in a long time. So let's talk about changes. So the 4 things in my first year of testosterone that I really noticed were increase in body hair, my voice dropped, my musculature grew, and my fat redistributed. So those were kind of like the 4 big things from the first year. I got like a lot of tummy hair, my leg hair went crazy, I could gain muscle without as much working out. It seemed like it was just happening without my even needing to do anything, which was kind of cool. Obviously, like, not a sustainable thing. I was just bulking up a little bit. My fat redistributed, which meant that it went from like my butt and my thighs basically just right to my stomach, like right here. And to my face a little bit. My face is a lot rounder than it used to be. So yeah, those are kind of the main things that I noticed the first year on T. So now in this second year on T, and my voice. Yeah, so obviously my voice didn't used to sound like this. If you go watch one of my early trans and Christian videos or one of my early testosterone videos, you'll know that my voice is kind of up here.
Guess what? I'm on T. It's real. Here I am. I'm really excited about it. I had my first shot of T yesterday at 4:30.
But I think this is as deep as my voice is going to get, I assume. I don't have a huge range because I haven't been doing a lot of voice training. This is about the lowest that my voice goes naturally. And this is about as high as I can go without breaking. So, yeah, that's my voice range. Singing, though, has gotten a lot better. In my first year on T, my singing voice was awful because I had no sense of, like before in my head, before I started T, I was a person who had been in vocal music for most of my life. But to hear a pitch in your head and then try to hit it with your voice and something that comes out is like totally different from what you're trying to hit, it's a really weird experience to go through. And I mean, like, obviously, like, cisgender guys have to go through that when their voice breaks. So it just takes a long time for you to kind of come back to it and go, oh, okay, I know what sound is going to come out of my mouth now. So singing has gotten a lot better this year. I don't feel self-conscious about it anymore. I can sing in sort of a tenor range now, which is really exciting. So yeah, those were all sort of my first year on T things. In my second year on T, one of the things I'm noticing is muscle retention. So like, I'll show you, you can't really see very much, especially because there's very bright light, so this is not the best lighting. There we go, if I tilt kind of, you can see. I am retaining muscle in my upper body and in my legs, even though I'm going through a period right now where I'm not really working out. And so it used to be before T that if I would stop working out, I immediately lost all of my muscle within the space of like a month. And now some of that muscle seems to be sticking around even though I'm not doing a lot to keep it. So that's been something that's been new for me. 2 hair things have started this year. One is that my hairline has been receding, hopefully not more than it should be. But like when I started T, I remember being really frustrated because I would try to get these like masculine looking haircuts and my hairline was just very rounded kind of around the top of my head. And so it was frustrating because none of the haircuts looked right because everything just sort of looked rounded. And about, I want to say like 9 months on T-ish, it started being a lot more square, like my hairline started squaring up a little bit. And now, through the second year on T, I'm seeing like, I don't know if you can see, but like it's definitely coming back here and coming back here in these 2 sort of points. And I think that's just like normal, like that's just my normal hairline. I have a widow's peak to begin with, so hopefully I'm not actually like, I don't notice myself losing hair. It's not like I don't brush my hair really, it's too short, but it's not like I notice a lot of it falling out. It just seems to, my hairline's just changed. So, you know, I might be bald someday, but I feel like this is where things are gonna stay at because it hasn't really moved too much. But I just have noticed that that it's kind of coming back in those 2 corners a little bit. Alright, I know I said 2 hair things, but it's really 3. Another thing that I have noticed is that I have more chest hair, and I will show you that in a minute, but I've got chest hair now that I didn't used to have, so that's kind of a cool thing. And then facial hair is the third hair-related thing. You can't really see because I just shaved recently and it's very bright, sorry, lighting has to adjust. But I have more hair now here, it like comes down to here, it goes to about here and then stops. And then I have some right here on my chin and right here on my neck. And then just like teeny tiny wispies, mustache wise. So I have to shave about every 2 days now, otherwise I just start to look like gross. So yeah, we'll see as we go into sort of the 3rd and 4th and 5th years on T how that changes, because I know from most of the trans guys that I have talked to and I've watched, sorry my puppy's making noise, that they have experienced facial hair stuff in like further on in T, in like the 3rd and 4th years and that kind of thing. What? He's staring at me. So anyways, that's the facial hair thing. So yeah, so it's mostly been like muscle retention, facial hair, head hair, chest hair, and that's been kind of what's changed body-wise in this 2nd year. So one thing I guess I should say is that I am currently on 70 milligrams of testosterone per week, so that because the concentration of the tea that I use is kind of a double concentration, that's 3.35 milliliters, I think, per week. So I do my shots on Tuesday nights usually. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. I used to be on a lower dose. I started at, gosh, I feel like I started at like 20. I think I started at 20 milligrams. And so I've just been building up from there as I've had my levels checked, and they've kind of measured that against the normal range for men, which is huge, by the way. There's a huge range in normal testosterone levels, so you kind of have to find the one that's sort of the best for your body. So I'll show you my chest quick since it's like 1 year post-op, and I want to say, first of all, before I do this, that I had some keloid scarring. So if you're not familiar with what keloid scarring is, it's basically where your body goes a little bit overboard and thinks that it needs to kind of like double scar to like keep your body safe, and it's I've heard that it's partially genetic and it's also partially reacting to your stress levels at the time that you're healing. So like as an anxious person, my stress levels are always pretty high, but I think I have a feeling that I am genetically predisposed to keloid scarring because when I had chicken pox when I was in it was like 8th grade when I had chicken pox, it was awful. A lot of my chicken pox scars keloided in the same way, and I just hadn't even thought about it until I got top surgery. So, this is what my chest looks like. Hey, taking off my shirt. And so like you can see here, like this is normal scarring right here in this sort of patch where it's lighter, that's normal, but this here and this stuff here, that's keloid scarring. So it's worse on my right side because I'm right-handed. It's a little wider here, but it's not like it doesn't stick out like it does on my right side. So that's what my chest looks like, and I'm actually, so like I said, this is 1 year and 1 month post-op, and I love my chest. Like, yeah, I'm a little bummed about the keloid scarring, but like it doesn't even matter. I don't even care. It just feels great. Every single day I put on a t-shirt and I can just like get up and put on jeans and a t-shirt. It's amazing. It's so great. Like I can't even explain to you how good it feels to put on a shirt. And I'm grateful for it every day. There's not a day that goes by where I am not grateful and I don't take a moment to just be like, holy cow. So yeah, this is what my chest looks like, and you can kind of see from the side. See, I'm kind of chubby, but you know, what are you gonna do? So yeah, that's my chest, and pale as heck, you know, the lighting doesn't help. But, yeah, that's what it looks like, and I actually love it, and you can see, actually, I said chest hair, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I have some, like, chest hair here in the middle. So I had Dr. Medali for surgery, and he apparently is not in practice anymore at the clinic where I saw him. I got a letter recently that said that he was finishing up at that practice, so I don't know if that means he's like gone off to do stuff on his own or if he retired or what, but apparently he's not there anymore, so that's a bummer. But yeah, so this was Dr. Medali, and I think he did a great job. Like, check out how great this scar patterning is. Like, it's perfectly matched to where my actual pectoral muscles are. Ooh, look, I can flex. So yeah, it's like, I think he did a great job, and I feel great about it, and like, yeah, it's great. Like I said, I'm thankful every single day for top surgery because it gave me my body back in a way that I never thought I would have or experience. So I'm running out of light, so I gotta talk fast, but I want to talk a little bit about like the emotional experience of transitioning and how that's going. So as many of you know, I deal with an anxiety disorder, and so like it's hard for me to talk about feelings and how they've changed through my time on T without also taking that into account. It's hard to know sometimes like what's the anxiety and what is not, and what has to do with the T and that kind of thing. And if you're a trans person who is medically transitioning and has issues with mental health, you know how this goes. It's just like you kind of aren't really sure what parts are the mental health issues and what parts are the hormones and what parts are, and they're all part of you, right? You can't separate that out from who you are. So I guess I would say that in terms of how I have felt emotionally this second year on T, I feel incredibly confident. Like basically there was a period of time right after top surgery where I had to like get used to my body again, and I had to there was a really hard period just a couple weeks after top surgery where it was like I had surgery and I still had to wear the compression vest, and it was like I couldn't stand it anymore. It felt awful because I'd been binding for so long and I just wanted to be done. So that was hard, like the first month or so after top surgery. And then after that, as soon as I got to just like start living my life and get dressed in the morning and not have to think about my chest, and as soon as I got to just like walk around, and I'm red as male 100% of the time now, and like I just don't have to think about it. And that's one of the things that I think it's hard for people to explain about medical transition, or maybe just transition in general, is that suddenly you don't have to think about your body anymore. And I know that that sounds weird maybe, but like when so much of your life has been spent, so much of your energy, so much of your mental capacity is spent trying to either block out things about your body or is actively fighting the negative feelings you have about your body, to be able to just not think about your body is a huge blessing. It has made me so much less let me put this actually in theological terms for a minute. Martin Luther talks about how sin is the person curving in on themselves, incurvatus se. And so the idea is like sin is basically your curving in on yourself and only caring about yourself and your own sort of selfish whatever, right? Like you don't care about the rest of the world, you don't care about other people, you're just sort of curled in on yourself. And that was his description of sin, right? So I don't want to say that like the way that I was before was sinful, because when you're trying to protect yourself, I feel like that's just way too complicated. That's not a sin. That's just you going, I don't know how to deal with the world. I have to curl in on myself and protect myself. So yeah, I wouldn't say that that way of living was sinful. It's just that now I don't have to think about my body. I don't have to think about the way that I just don't have to think about all that transition stuff. I don't have to think about all those negative feelings anymore. And I can like uncurl and be out in the world and like have good relationships with people and not be thinking all the time like, what are they thinking about me? What are they looking at? What are they, I don't have to be constantly focused on myself. I can be focused outward on others. And so that has been the hugest thing this past year, the second year on T, because I no longer have to deal with all the newness of being on T for the first time, and I no longer have to deal with my chest post-top surgery, and so it's like, whew, life expanded, amazing, and it feels great. So yeah, that's where I am, 2 years on T. So thanks for being here and watching my experience. Thanks for just giving me encouragement through times that have been harder, and I really look forward to seeing what like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years on T are going to look like. So thanks for being here and thanks for watching, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks for a new Trans and Christian. Alright, peace.